Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is in Costa Rica today in an effort to slow down the Biden administration's migration crisis at our southern border. Many are pointing out that Vice President Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be in charge of the border, was absent from this trip. This is becoming a theme in Harris's border leadership, or lack thereof. It's been 69 days since she was assigned that role, and she still hasn't visited the border or even held a press conference. Recently, the vice president's team has been working overtime to make sure that everyone knows that Harris has nothing to do with the actual southern border. She's just there to focus on the causes of migration.
She's focused on everything from governance to climate change to tackling food insecurity in these countries to really get at what is causing these people to surge to the border. Of course, corruption, gang violence, all of this is within her remit, but she has wanted to emphasize both internally and publicly, frankly. Her team has come out and said publicly, look, we do not own the issues at the border.
Steve, I think at this rate, this is going to be a problem that's going to be affecting the Biden administration long into probably the next election.
Yeah, unfortunately, in our entire country. It's so obvious to me, by the way, watching Natasha Bertrand there from CNN, it's so obvious to me that this is a propaganda mission from Harris's office. She is clearly getting this information out to sources like Bertrand who are willing to do her bidding to try to go out there and run interference then in the media and say, oh, this border conflagration? No, that's not our problem. Only the Southern Hemisphere or the Central American issues are our problem.
Yeah, well, we want to bring in former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to talk more about this. Chief Meadows, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Great to be with you both. Thanks so much.
Well, when we talk about these root causes that the vice president is supposedly trying to address in Mexico and in Central America, they seem to leave out the fact that there are now even a surge of people coming in from other countries because essentially they know the borders are open. They said 33,000 in April of 2021, according to DHS data, crossed from countries other than Mexico and the Northern Triangle. They're coming in from Haiti, Cuba, Romania, India, and elsewhere. It seems like they're missing the mark here. What do you say?
Well, they're not only missing the mark, but what we also see is a great retreat from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. It's interesting. They want to find the root cause of what causes this immigration surge when the answer is staring them right there in the face. And yet when it comes to the Wuhan virus, they're canceling investigations that look at the root cause of that. And so, it's interesting. Tony Blinken goes down to Costa Rica when most of our problems are not actually in Costa Rica. They're in Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and Mexico. And yet we have found that Kamala Harris is running away from this job before she's actually made one single decisive move on behalf of the administration. She's running away. She's already got 2 new job offers from Joe Biden, and yet she's yet to do a single thing on her first job as border czar.
Right. And it seems, Chief Meadows, that she's getting a lot of PR help here from CNN. I want to play another clip of Natasha Bertrand and then get your reaction. Let's listen.
The vice president's team, I should say, did not want her to get saddled with all of this politically fraught information, this politically fraught situation. And so they've sought to make it very clear, both internally and publicly, that she is focused on diplomacy and efforts in the Northern Triangle to really address the root causes here of migration.
Chief Meadows, it seems to me that Kamala Harris and her team, they ought to be sending a gift basket over to Natasha Bertrand and to CNN for this PR operation. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, they should be putting CNN on their payroll, Steve. The interesting thing is they're putting more rules on the media than they are rules at the border. And when you look at Kamala Harris, I mean, it's pretty sad when the coach goes to the locker room before the game even gets started. Now, and the other thing that broke today is they permanently have stopped the Remain in Mexico policy. That was officially done away with today. So they're exchanging the Remain in Mexico policy for a Remain in Chaos policy that really goes to the feet of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
Chief Meadows, President Trump today praising Governor Abbott of Texas, saying that he's done great work with the border. Curious, as Kamala Harris, we say often on the show, is inching closer and closer to perhaps taking over the presidency, do you think Democrats are concerned about the lack of action and the way this is just spiraling out of control in regards to looking at future elections?
Well, I think they are concerned, and they have every right to be concerned. I can tell you, I've talked to a number of ranchers and farmers in Texas. They said they have not seen conditions like this in over 2 decades. And when you look at what's happening at our border, over 500,000 people have already come across illegally just in the first 110 days of this administration. It's very, very troubling. But they don't seem to have an answer or care. I mean, it's amazing what they had. Secretary Mayorkas today talk about the fact that President Trump had mixed results. I guess that's because they've had horrific results, and they think that somehow mixed results should trump that, so to speak.
You know, Mark, if we can get you out of here on this question, please. President Trump in 2020 did amazingly well in the Rio Grande Valley in voting. He got far better returns than he had gotten there in 2016, actually by amazing factors. Do you credit at least some of that to his toughness on the border for the people there who live in a most acute way with the realities of porous borders?
Well, they see it. They see what happens when the cartels take control of the border. President Trump was strong on the border security, whether he was speaking in Texas or South Florida. And what happened? Hispanic, Latino voters turned out in record numbers. And I can tell you, the Customs and Border Patrol agents, they're with President Trump. The American people will be. And ultimately, his decision to secure our borders will help moms everywhere know that their neighborhoods are more secure as well.
That's right. And Customs and Border Patrol, the most Hispanic agency of the entire U.S. federal government, and strongly behind President Trump and the America First movement. Mark Meadows, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you both. Good to be with you. Good night.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.